Aloha, everybody. This is Tiggy Maximus with Tiggy Maximus Talks, episode 50 on YouTube. I just want to get on here pretty quickly. I wanted to go over WWE's NXT's Vengeance Day, what I thought of it, and the results that happened. I also want to go over UFC Fight Night, Las Vegas, Spivac versus Derek Lewis, and I guess a kind of a preview teaser for my next comedy show review. There's 3 of them. So let's get into it, guys. So on Saturday, UFC Fight Night. It was a fun lineup, top to bottom. And let's start with the main event, heavyweight fight. Derek Lewis and Sergey Spivac. Well, I know a lot of us are fans of Derek Lewis, but unfortunately, things did not go well for Derek Lewis as Spivac was able to get that triangle choke, or the arm triangle, my bad, arm triangle for the victory in the first round. So Derek Lewis has continued his losing streak. I'm starting to feel bad for the guy because it's going to be hard for him to get back in the winning column. And as I'm looking at the stats for that fight, unfortunately, Spivak had overwhelmed Derek Lewis, and there was basically 6 takedowns. And given how big Derek Lewis is, that is quite an achievement, because for someone as big as Derek Lewis to try to take him down is like one of the best goals you can ever accomplish as a heavyweight, much less any weight class, really. And I'm looking at it, and there was 12 significant strikes, all 12 to the head. And I guess there were 24 other strikes, but they weren't very significant. And the submission attempt was locked in for the arm triangle. And as I'm saying this, the reason why I brought up the stats is because Derek Lewis recorded 0 stats in this fight. So the fight went on for 3 minutes and 5 seconds, and he did not have one single strike or anything. Not even a kick, leg kick that landed, not even a punch thrown landed, not even anything landed. He basically got overmatched, mauled by Spivak, and Spivak just pretty much got into the arm triangle position and made Derek Lewis tap out. So I don't know, unless Derek Lewis needs to change some things in his camp and training, but I don't know if I would want to see Derek Lewis fight, because if all these fighters in the heavyweight division is pretty much following pretty much the same blueprint on how to beat him, it's going to be a very sad ride for him, as he's continuing to lose more fights in a row. And he's a popular fighter, but I don't want to see a fighter to keep losing like more than 4 times in a row and go beyond that point, because to keep losing fights one after another, it just doesn't get to be very fun for me personally. So hopefully things will change around for him. Next up, we have the co-main event, Jung versus Clark. I actually had Jung winning this one, but Clark pretty much overmatched Jung for all 3 rounds. So Clark won by unanimous decision. It was a clean sweep, basically 9-0. I did pick Tibera to beat Ivanov, but yeah, that was my decision. Tibero got his shots in, did just a little more than Ivanov. Next up, we have Choi and Nelson. Choi probably would have won this fight, except there was a headbutt, which may have occurred in the third round. So, Nelson and Choi had basically a draw, majority draw. So, if that point deduction didn't occur, Choi probably Choi probably would have won on all three cards. Oh, big shocker. I actually had Kinoshita beating Fugit, but Fugit was able to win in the first round with elbows for the TKO. Big upset. Next up we have Jabli and Saria. I had Jubli winning that one, and he did win in the second round with elbows. Lee versus Za. I actually had Za winning, but it was a split decision loss, actually. So it was a pretty close fight. So Lee got the nod for that one. Kazama and Nakamura did not last very long, 33 seconds. If anything, Nakamura just pretty much overwhelmed Kazama and finished him off. I think the last punch was like a flush one. The one before that, it was Park versus Choi. Park defeated Choi with a rear naked choke, although it seemed like Choi had the upper hand, but Park was able to finish off Choi with a rear naked choke. Next one is Park versus Teo Leo Lin. Rear naked choke in the first round. Park was the winner. I did pick that one. I also picked Tyra versus Aguilar, and that was the first round triangle choke with armbar. So Tyra is still undefeated in the UFC or MMA career. So a lot of new fighters coming from Asia. So I am looking forward to all these new fighters. On the topic of, fights and wrestling, I did get to watch a good bit of the NXT Vengeance Day, and it started off pretty exciting with Dijak and Wesley for the North American Championship. It was a fun match, a lot of close finishers, close pinfalls. It was a really good match. If anything, I probably would say the match was probably, let's say 9 out of 10. It was really good. I was really invested in this one, and you thought that one guy was going to win or the other guy was going to win, and it got so close. They hit their signature moves. Looks very impressive, and Wesley ended up the winner, retained his title. What else? There was the tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships for the guys. Callis did beat New Day. They pinned them, while Pretty Deadly and there's another team that was involved. Oh, Chase U. Yeah. It was a fun matchup. I thought it was maybe a 7.5 out of 10. It was fun to watch, but I wasn't impressed with other segments of the match. And I always find it weird when you have a Fatal 4-Way for the Tag Team Championships, because in a Fatal 4-Way, you would technically have all 4 representatives from all 4 teams in the ring at the same time, and then you would just tag your partner. You don't need to tag anyone else's tag team. So I don't know why they wouldn't do that. I'm pretty sure they have their reasons to, but I mean, I guess if you think about it, three members of three other tag teams could possibly gang up on one, and maybe that one person would never ever get to tag their partner. I mean, the only other solution to this is that I guess you could technically have a Texas Tornado tag team match, Fatal 4-Way, a Fatal 4-Way Texas Tornado match, where pretty much everyone is fighting at the same time. All 8 participants. So I don't know. Maybe you should look into that. Because I mean, technically, if you're tag team, you're supposed to tag your partner, but I mean, if you're fighting with 3 other teams, you probably would want your buddy right next to you and fighting off all the other members. So yeah, it's kind of tricky when you have more than just yourself with 3 other participants. You got a partner who also has 3 other opponents with their own tag team partner. So yeah, I mean, technically you could go either way, but you never know. I mean, in a way, if you think about it, if you have a Fatal 4-Way tag team match, actually, you could technically do an elimination format. But if you do try to Fatal 4-Way tag team championship match, I mean, it's first team to get a pinfall, and that still is exciting. But yeah, so who knows? We'll see what happens with that. They might have to change the rules down the road, because I don't think you should only have 2 people in the ring at any given time, and that would be the only rule when it comes to a Fatal 4-Way tag team match. So yeah. Let's see. There was also there was the what is it? Oh, the women's NXT Championship. So it was the triple threat match. You got Toxic Attraction, GG and Jade, or GG and Jane, going up against the NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez. I would say it was a good triple threat match, and Roxanne Perez did prevail. The final spot in the match, which pretty much was the end of the match, a table was set up outside the ring by Toxic Attraction, I think, and Roxanne was on the top rope, and Gigi and JC Jane, they were also on the top rope in a way, and then Roxanne Perez did kick off Gigi, and Gigi landed through the table that was set up outside, and Roxanne Perez did do pop rocks, like a super pop rocks, on JC Jane, and got the pin. So Roxanne Perez will now find a new title challenger. I've been kind of curious who's going to be the next challenger for the title. And last I saw, there was probably a breakup in Toxic Attraction on Tuesday's edition of NXT. Um, let's see what else. Oh, and we have our NXT Championship for the men's. Braun Breaker. Oh, before I forget, the women's NXT Championship triple threat match, I actually gave that a 7 out of 10. I'm still trying to buy into Roxanne Perez as the NXT Women's Champion, and it might take some time. It might need some like more spectacular moves, or just the fact that she might need to hit harder. Honestly, but yeah, the NXT Championship, Braun Breaker, and Grayson Waller, in a steel cage. Good match. Good back and forth, and a lot of good spots with the cage. And the match, I would say, is probably an 8 out of 10. And I liked how it ended with Grayson Waller was just kind of slowly moving, and he dared Braun Breaker to finish him off with the big spear, and that's what Braun Breaker did. And that was the end of the match with the big spear. And now we should probably see Braun Breaker face another challenger, and it might be Carmelo Hayes, which I think will make a very interesting matchup because they're both in their prime in NXT. So we'll see what happens with that. Um, and since we're on the topic of WWE still, and I'll probably make another episode probably next week where I talk about who's going to win the Elimination Chamber in each match. So stay tuned for that one. And I did mention I was going to do a preview review of 3 comedy shows. One is tonight at the La Jolla Comedy Store with Sugar Mommy with Lynn Sun and Linda Schwartz. They invited me to review their show. It has a nice lineup, good lineup with 9 comics. Crystal De La Rosa, I think, is going to be hosting. So then tomorrow is the Shit Show with KDK at the mic drop. Excited for that one too. And then Friday, Dope City with Matt Bellick. And then on the lineup is going to be featuring Rafa Camargo, who is going to be moving to Austin, Texas. So this is last San Diego show. So hopefully I'll get to see his stand up before he goes and get to talk to him for a little bit and see where things go from there. So a lot more previews in the next 2 episodes, and I will probably put out one more episode where I guess I'll be talking about the Super Bowl and UFC 284, which is Saturday and Sunday. So look for an episode probably late Friday or early Saturday. So, and then, oh, before I forget, guys, so a milestone happened last night. LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers hit a fadeaway 2-pointer shot against the Oklahoma City Thunder at Crypto.com Arena, formerly known as Staples Center. And with that shot, with 10.9 seconds left in the third quarter, LeBron James has passed Kareem Abdul Jabbar as the all-time NBA scoring leader. That record, held by Kareem Abdul Jabbar, was held for at least 39 years. Imagine that, huh? And then the fact that it's 39 years since Kareem past the previous record holder. Um, LeBron James is actually um, he's only 38. So the fact that the record had started, the mark was set before LeBron James was even born, and LeBron James is now the king of scoring in the NBA. So kudos to LeBron James. And I watched it at El Pueblo in Del Mar. Saw the fadeaway shot, swish. I think it was a swish. And unfortunately, the Lakers lost to the Thunder 133-130. Gotta tell you, Lakers need to work on the defense. And I mean, it was a great accomplishment, and we're all anticipating it. Watched it happen live. The fact that it happened in our lifetime, but I kind of want to see the Lakers, play a sound 4 quarters, play defense, make good shots, and be there ahead in the end. So right now, Lakers got one more day to figure out if they want to make a trade, because tomorrow at noon there is the NBA trade deadline, and usually there should be some big trades happening before the deadline. Try to move big contracts and look forward to the future. So, or try to go for the championship with your new acquisition. So, anywho, a lot of things to look forward to, guys. Just, I also have my Spotify podcast. So you guys want to listen to my material and my previews and my reviews and my predictions. You can also like and subscribe on there and make a small donation if you would like, or you could also like and subscribe on my YouTube channel here, and hopefully this becomes a big thing, guys, because this is episode 50 on YouTube. So yeah, I'm still sticking with my pick for the Super Bowl. I don't know if it's going to change from now until Sunday, but I'm still picking the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 57 in Glendale, Arizona. So we'll see what happens, guys. I will talk to you guys very soon, probably Friday night. All right, there, guys. Tiggy Maximus, signing off.